Hello and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks that play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland, joined as always by my co-host and dad, Rick Cleveland of Mississippi Today. Both of us are a little worse for the wear after staying up late to watch some disappointing regional final action. You can see how in tune I am this morning. Been a little under the weather as well, so appreciate you guys tuning in and bearing with us. Dad, it was a disappointing night, to say the least, for the state of Mississippi, with Ole Miss falling to Murray State 12-11 to end the Rebels season, and Southern Miss falling 5-4 to the Miami Hurricanes just before around 11:15 last night. Both of their seasons are over. Ole Miss finishes 43-21. Southern Miss finishes 47-16. Two fantastic teams that are not moving on. I guess congrats to Murray State and Miami. Was really impressed with both of those teams and the way that they kind of held it together despite, late rallies from both Ole Miss and Southern.
Yeah, I think Murray State's one of the best stories in the whole tournament. Just really.
They can rake.
They can evermore hit the baseball. Looking back at it, Ole Miss certainly didn't help itself with some fielding lapses early in the game and just some fundamental stuff like missing the cutoff man, letting a runner advance to second who later scored a run in a one-run game,
I don't want to. It's odd to say this, but it turns out you can't put a power hitter at every position. It just doesn't work that way. And they've got some they had some fantastic players. That Udemark guy is like Tim Elko playing second base. he is huge.
Yeah, he's a monster, and he hits monstrous home runs. Sometimes doesn't make a play that you need to make. You know.
Well, I thought both of them played valiantly. I think it was Ole Miss definitely was on their last leg pitching wise. So was Southern Miss there at the end, but some pretty good. Southern Miss had some great pitching performances by some guys off short rest. I thought. And, if they could have got one more guy on before Carson Pato hit that home run in the ninth, really happy for him, by the way, to go out like that at Pete Taylor Park, hitting a home run in his last at-bat.
Fantastic career.
Yeah.
That he had at Southern Miss.
Just wish one more guy had been on base.
Yeah. And wish, the play that ends up, well, there's several. In a one-run game, there's always several plays, and they showed the replay about 15 times of Urban's when Joey Urban hit into the double play, and it couldn't have been closer. His foot was like less than an inch from the base when the ball went in the glove, and a run scores.
Yeah,
if he's safe, and he was out. It was a good call.
Yeah.
It was a good call.
There were a couple of them. Jake Cook was almost. He was very nearly safe at second on a.
I'm not sure he wasn't
on a bang play late in the game as well.
I was a little bit surprised that they never showed a replay of that. But at any rate, I want to talk some more about Murray State.
Okay. Well, go ahead. We got a lot to get to with some other baseball news, but I think it's worth talking about. These guys.
The coach, Dan Skirka, I guess is how you pronounce his name, Skirka.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have been more impressed with him. They did the third inning interview, and they're up by 10 runs. And he just basically says what's going to happen. He said, Ole Miss is going to make a run, and we're going to have to retain our poise to win this game. And that's exactly what happened, and they did maintain their poise. And I saw a published report today that guy makes $68,000 a year. Think about that. In this time where coaches are making millions.
Yeah, he ain't going to make that for long.
No, he's either going to get a big raise or he'll be coaching somebody else. And you know, they were fundamentally good. And as you said, man, they are a line drive waiting to happen. Every batter 1 through 9 in that lineup came through when it mattered.
With 2 strikes.
Yeah.
All of them. You couldn't strike them out.
Yeah, I couldn't have been more impressed with him.
Well, he may get a new job. There's a job available because Mississippi State made a hire. They hired Virginia coach Brian O'Connor, which, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, you and I both on this show were talking about how hard it was going to be for Mississippi State to lure away an established coach from a Power 5 program, and that is exactly what Mississippi State did. Hiring Brian O'Connor from Virginia, and I think he's bringing a couple of assistants, Joe Savino, Travis Reifsnyder, and Kevin McMullen. But O'Connor has a fantastic track record, a career record of 885 wins and 370 losses. I mean, that's incredible. In the ACC, he's 362 and 234. You know, he's one of 8 coaches in the ACC to have 700 wins, and he's got a 700 winning percentage. I've had some dealings with him over the years. I particularly remember a regional in Oxford where Virginia came in there and won a regional against one of Bianco's best teams. I mean, just a really great team. And I remember being impressed with him. This is, we're talking 20 years ago. And remember being impressed with him in the same way I'm impressed with that Murray State coach now. Just not only the fact that his team was fundamentally sound, made all the plays, but also impressed with the way he handled himself, in interviews, the way he handled strategy during the game. You know how you, at the end of the press conference, sometimes you'll go up and ask a coach a question. He didn't know me from Adam, but we ended up having like a 10-minute conversation at the end of one of his press conferences, just me and him. And again, I couldn't have been more impressed with him. Well, you think about Virginia as like a perennial baseball power. I mean, they're up there. I mean,
But they weren't before he got there.
Well, they had made 3 College World Series appearances before he got there, and in the 22 years he was there, they went to 7 more. So, I mean, that's maybe he's part of the reason that I feel, associate Virginia baseball with excellence. I think this is a slam dunk hire for Mississippi. I think this is as safe and as solid a hire as they could have made.
Oh, it's just amazing that they were able to get him. I mean, he's probably, I don't know, name a more accomplished coach in college baseball right now.
Mike Bianco. That's all. I mean, that's all I could think. And I don't even know that he's. I mean, they're definitely in the same category, but like it's hard to. This would be the equivalent of hiring Mike away from Ole Miss at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's an accomplished coach who's been there for a long time and taken a program to new heights. And I mean, I struggle to think of anybody else.
Well, the guy at LSU, Jay Johnson, is but yeah, the point is the guy at Vanderbilt. I mean,
right, exactly, Corbin.
Yeah. So O'Connor's in there. You match his record with any of them.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned LSU because the Tigers advanced late last night with a win over Little Rock, who we should give a shout out to because Little Rock went into this tournament with a losing record and took, I would say the blue blood program, LSU, to the absolute wire of their regional in Baton Rouge. But I think LSU is one of 4 SEC teams that has advanced to the Super Regionals out of.
They had a record 13 teams in the tournament, and if you had asked me beforehand how many of those teams would advance, I would have said 6, maybe 7, 4.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Coast Conference had 9 teams in the tournament. 5 of them advance. I think the story of the NCAA baseball tournament right now is the little guys. In this age of NIL, where players are making tens of thousands of dollars, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars, you got teams like Murray State, UTSA, who am I forgetting? Coastal Carolina, they're not you've got several mid-majors that have advanced and several blue blood programs that have been eliminated. You look at in the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, Vandy, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Texas, and Florida all lost.
Yeah, the ones that surprised me there are
Texas.
Texas, Ole Miss, Vandy.
Georgia.
Yeah, because they were hosting a regional too. But I didn't really.
I think they were the sixth seed.
Right. Those are kind of surprising. I didn't really expect. I thought Mississippi State played great down there in Tallahassee this last weekend. I was really proud of them and the way they. They're under an interim coach. They're in a really hostile environment. I thought they played really, really well, all things considered.
Oh, I did too. They were a good team, really good team.
Yeah.
But to take that power conference thing a step further, Tyler, 8 Big 12 teams got in the tournament. 2 advanced. 4 Big 10 teams got in the tournament. 1 advanced. It seems funny calling UCLA a Big 10 team.
Right.
But they are the one Big 10 team that advanced. It's been a crazy tournament so far.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine, I guess it was Monday morning before the games had even been played. And we were talking about how excited we were with the prospect that both Southern Miss and Ole Miss could advance to Super Regionals. Not only that, would be hosting Super Regionals, and I think you would agree that we would have bet that at least one of the two, right?
Yeah, sure.
Would have got there. But that because of what had happened Sunday, I felt like the tournament's wide open. I felt like it was anybody's to win because, like you said, Texas is out, Vandy's out, Georgia's out, like Florida's out. You know what I mean? Like these are all the teams that are, that could have won. And so now I guess my question is, who's left? I think we would both agree that Arkansas has got a great shot.
Florida State.
Florida State's really good. Yeah.
They're really, really good. Boy, they're pitching. A left-hander that pitched game 1. Mm-hmm. Wow. He's just really terrific. I think if you asked me to pick a team, those would be the 2 teams that I look at as the favorites now. Yeah.
I would throw LSU in there as well. I know that they have not, they got taken to the wire by Little Rock, but that's just LSU. They're just, they have a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, I just don't think the top of the order is really strong. The bottom of their order is, there's a lot of outs that I've seen. That pitching is great. Pitching is great. It wouldn't surprise me if they got hot and won it. They've done it so many times in the past. It wouldn't shock me. The team that I'm going to be pulling for though, and now
Murray State. Yeah. I knew that without ever talking to you. I knew that you were going to be pulling for them.
Well,
they're a great story.
And another great story is UTSA, who lost their 2 best players off last year's team, got bought. Mm-hmm. Huge NIL packages somewhere else. And somehow they put it back together and go and win at Texas. Can you imagine how great that must feel for UTSA?
Yes, I can imagine. I can only. I bet all of their. I would say all of their hundreds of fans were really excited, but to win at Austin for them has got to be. It's not like that. That's to put it in perspective. That's not like Southern Miss winning at Oxford or Starkville. That's like Jacksonville State winning at Tuscaloosa, or like.
Did you ever, when Southern Miss and UTSA were both in Conference USA, did you ever watch one of those ESPN broadcasts of a game at UTSA?
Yes.
It's like going to, Brandon High School or Northwestern Rankin High School is better than that.
Right.
Yeah. It's a neat story.
Yeah. Also, that's baseball. This is anything can happen when you get in the tournament. That's why punching your ticket is such a big deal. Even if you're Arkansas Little Rock and you get in with a losing record, you can still take a blue blood to the mat. It's a thing. So I really enjoyed the weekend of baseball. Wish it had turned out better for our Mississippi teams, but excited about the future at Mississippi State, and excited to see what Ole Miss and Southern Miss can do to retool. There are lots of guys to replace off both those teams. But it's like anything else. I told my buddy the other day, there's really only two things that Mississippi does exceptionally well. And we don't write books in May and June. So it's got to be baseball. Dad, what else are you watching this week? I wanted to talk to you about a fun story in golf. I know we're going to do we'll have a U.S. Open preview this next week on next week's pod. But I wanted to ask you if you saw the story about the qualifier with Max Homa.
I know that he three-jacked the last hole of a 36-hole U.S. Open thing.
A qualifier.
And missed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The story is Homa carried his own bag for 38 holes in the qualifying round, and he did 3-jack on the last hole to miss the spot, and then he lost the next hole to lose the alternate spot, but carried his own bag for 38 holes. When asked about it, said he didn't want to talk. He'd rather talk about the golf than the caddy, who wasn't there. He had been with his caddy for 2 months, but apparently that guy is out of job. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I don't have it in front of me, but Homa's got to have made $10 million in the last 3 or 4 years.
He was ranked number 10 in the world last year.
Yeah. No, I haven't. It's amazing to me that he wasn't already eligible.
Qualified, right?
Automatic qualifier.
Well, he's got one more chance. He's got to win the Canadian Open to get in the top 60 and qualify for the U.S. Open.
He's fully capable, but he might want to get a caddy.
I was going to say, I'm interested to see who's on the bag up there in the Great White North this weekend.
Yeah.
What'd you make of Rory skipping the Memorial?
I don't know what to. I don't know what to think. It's pretty clear Nicholas wasn't happy about it.
I thought his comments were kind of, if you read the whole thing or listened to the whole thing, I didn't think it was that bad. Because I think the initial reports were that Jack was pissed and was going off about it. But I read the comments and it was like, well, he's got to make a schedule that fits him. I certainly did when I was playing and blah blah blah. I could tell that he was maybe a little miffed.
His ego, which he has one,
right,
was bruised.
Right, because he didn't get a call.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler, you asked me what other stories I'm following, and a couple come immediately to mind. Number one, the Pearl River Community College down in Poplarville, which won the 2022 National Championship, lost out in the championship game over the weekend. Kind of gets lost in the shuffle with all the other Division I baseball and everything else going on. But what a program they have. And maybe the most impressive story of any in baseball is LSU-Shreveport, which won the NAIA National Championship over the weekend and completed a 59-0 season.
How do you go undefeated in baseball?
I don't know. You know, famously, Boo Ferris, the great Mississippi baseball legend, once told me, he said, there's too many pebbles on a field to go undefeated in baseball. You're going to get a bad bounce sooner or later.
Yeah, but now they're playing on turf.
Well, yeah, maybe, but they didn't play all their games on turf.
Uh-huh.
There are 4 Mississippi connections on the team. All of them played at Mississippi junior colleges, 2 of them at Pearl River, 1 at Gulf Coast, another at Northeast, I think. But 59-0 in baseball, that's ridiculous.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, well, yeah, 59-0. You know, you would think you'd run into one pitcher that was having the game of his life, and you'd lose a 3-2 game like that. But no, I mean, they got down. Their biggest deficit of the season was in the national championship game. They got behind 4-0. They end up winning with ease, you know. I was looking over their scores. They won one game 42-4.
Wow. They need to seriously consider moving up, or somebody needs to do something. I don't know, man. You go 59-0. That's pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty dominant.
Their team on base percentage was .495, which means, of course,
they get on base about half the time.
Yeah. Of all the batters who came to bat this season, almost half of them got on base. It's got to be one of the most incredible feats in baseball history at any level. At any level.
Yeah. Well, what are you looking forward to this week? You got anything on your agenda? You going to take it easy? I mean, I know I'm just going to leave my TV off for a little while because, my goodness, I burned it at both ends all weekend with the baseball. I mean, I was averaging, I don't know about you, somewhere around 9 hours a day of baseball watching.
I had my huge TV on. I had my computer in front of me watching another game. I had my phone to the side, keeping up with other games. Yeah, but you asked me what I'm looking forward to, and I'm really looking forward. Malcolm White, our buddy Malcolm, and I are doing a program at the Max in Meridian.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm, of course, has been a good reason to stay in Jackson, Mississippi all these years. Mm-hmm. He's been the entertainment king of mid-Mississippi with Hal and Mouse and the St. Patty's Day Parade. He's also chairman or executive director of the Mississippi Arts Commission for several years. He and I are doing a program about the intersection of athletics, sports, and art, and the arts in Mississippi.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, it's going to be fun. We're doing it at 11 o'clock Saturday at the Max.
Love that venue too, man.
It's an incredible venue. It's and a lot of stuff's going on in downtown Meridian these days, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I want to get out. I mean, that's one of the things I miss about when I was covering high school sports is you got to travel to these towns around Mississippi because there's so many of them. I mean, Meridian especially, though, they're downtown area, but a lot of these towns in Mississippi are having these renaissances around their downtown areas. It's some really cool scenes.
My hometown, Hattiesburg, is having a nice renaissance of its downtown. It's going to happen eventually in Jackson. It is. It's going to happen eventually in Jackson.
Well, I hope so. Can it happen? Can it happen in time for me to sell the house? Can it happen? Can it happen soon? Sooner than later? That would be fantastic. That's awesome. Well, that's about all the time we got this week. Thanks, everybody, for listening in with us. We'll be back next week with some U.S. Open talk, and hopefully everybody can stay dry and keep it in the fairway between now and then. Talk to y'all next week.